Hello, Caravan Nation. My name is Aaron Hyler, and all my Spanish-speaking friends, Buenos dias or buenos tardes, for my Spanish teacher, Mr. Guatemala. Shout out to you. I am here with a very, very special guest. He is new to the Mount Carmel community. He has all honors classes, a couple of classes with some sophomores. He's in our drama club, Spanish club, Scholastic Bowl, chess, the club, medical enrichment, honors cohort, environmental club, Brothers of the Mount, soccer, and volleyball. He does a lot of things just from these 3 months. He's going to be heading into our first finals this week. I hope he's not too nervous about that. We got Sergio Valdez. Sergio, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, Aaron?
Great, great. How was today? You had a 1:30 schedule?
Yeah.
Veterans Day?
Yep. Great assembly to cap off the day, but it's another day.
Yeah, it's another day, another dollar. So, you came before we came here. You did your Scholastic Bowl.
Yes.
I know you said before we did the broadcast, you said it was pretty brief. It's
Yeah.
your first meeting. So how was the Scholastic Bowl? What is a Scholastic Bowl?
So basically, it's gonna be like 2 teams, 5 people on each team. It's kind of like a trivia almost. They ask you questions. First team to get it. 20 toss-up questions. So whoever gets the most questions at the end wins it. So it's basically a game of who has more knowledge about what.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it competition that you guys do other outside of Mount Carmel or just at Mount Carmel?
No, outside of Mount Carmel.
Really?
Actually, tomorrow we're heading to Mother McCauley.
Really?
Playing a couple schools.
Wow, you guys are playing the girls. All right, all right, Serge.
Well, I'm not sure, but I know there's other schools coming too.
Yeah, okay. Let's go from the top. Drama, right?
Yeah.
You're in drama. Our drama program, Mr. P. Proberg. I call him Mr. P.
Yeah.
So how's drama going?
Pretty good. I don't think I'm planning on theater
Mm-hmm.
or seriously anything like that, but I'm more in there just to for speech and just to
Stay involved.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. That's what I was doing. You do a good job. We're just doing table reads so far this year, so it's doing pretty good. Chess.
Just yeah.
Doc Berry.
Yep.
Shout out to Doc Berry.
Yep.
You beat your freshman friend from St. Thomas. Shout out to St. Thomas, Moore in Munster, Indiana. Shout out to them. You beat Hunter Hawkins. He is
Yep.
our board 6. How did it feel to beat Hunter?
I mean, we have played so many chess games together from
Really?
6th grade to now. Back in St. Thomas More, it'd always be a back and forth. We're the top 2 players, and he's really just taken a grind at it this year. And to beat him, maybe it was his off day, but
Yeah.
we got him. So it felt pretty good knowing that I'm improving each meeting.
I am board 8, and I have not beaten Hunter, so that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
So you said you went to St. Thomas More in
Yeah.
Munster, Indiana.
Yeah.
How was St. Thomas More? How was that? Did you go for your whole life? Have you gone there your whole life?
So no, I originally went to Nunciata.
Mhm.
I think it's called a different school now. It's on the east side of Chicago.
Okay.
I went there up until 5th grade.
Oh, our producer Diego went there too. Shout out to Diego.
And I switched that first year of COVID to St. Thomas More. It was kind of eye-opening because my grade at Nunciata had only 12 kids, and at St. Thomas More, it went to 60. So,
Wow.
whole other feeling.
Yeah.
Those first couple years were obviously COVID years. Mass, you didn't really get to see a lot of people all the time, but it was definitely an adjustment, and I'm so glad that I made that transition because I don't think I would be here now or done as many things as I would without going to St. Thomas More. So big shout out to them.
So you said you transitioned. How was the transition from St. Thomas to Mount Carmel? Was it hard? Was it difficult? Was it overwhelming?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
I was really excited. Great school, great
Did
atmosphere.
you hear about Mount Carmel before?
Yeah. So my mom wanted me to shadow here.
Okay.
When I shadowed here, I was looking for a school that had that family aspect. Just kind of everyone knows each other, and we're all good, and just that family atmosphere really. And so I shadowed a couple other schools. I really didn't feel that. Everyone was in their little groups and whatever. But when I came here, everyone was interconnected, and I actually came here during the Veterans Day Assembly, which was today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a year ago from today,
Yeah.
you shadowed Mount Carmel.
Yep.
That's
sure.
crazy. And you're doing a podcast about your experience so far at Mount Carmel. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's great. Have you had any moments of Mount Carmel so far? Any good moments? Any bad? It could be bad moments, but any moments, experiences?
Nah,
You had late night,
Yeah.
freshman impact.
Yeah.
First day of school. Anything?
honestly, just that freshman impact late night. There's certain stuff and activities that Mount Carmel does that no other school does,
Right.
and that's just really special. Like impact, like taking a whole week, just like for us, it was the environment. Like it really was eye opening, and the speakers and today's Veterans Assembly, like there's no other school that's just as unique and pays attention to those things and honors them.
Exactly. Some schools take off on Veterans Day, so
Exactly.
we didn't take this day off, and we
Yeah.
could have.
Yeah.
It's finals this week.
Yeah.
We could definitely could have took this day off, but we took it to honor our veterans.
Exactly.
It was a beautiful ceremony. So yeah. What is your favorite thing about Mount Carmel so far that you have come here these first 3 months?
I would say how everyone's there for each other. Everyone's helping each other. If like someone's not didn't do well on a test, everyone's there to help him out, support him. And like the hard work and the effort, I think everyone builds off of each other from that. Like everyone's so competitive here, whether it's in sports, academics, homework, tests, grades, whatever it is. Everyone's there, just competing and always trying to get better from each other in a great way.
So would you say it's a brotherhood? Would you
Yeah,
say?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. So you're in some sophomore classes.
Yeah.
You're actually in some of my sophomore. I think you're in two of my sophomore classes, geometry and chemistry.
Yeah.
So how's that going? How is those two sophomore classes going?
Over the summer I was like debating whether I really should take them or not, but then I went for it. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? I know what I'm capable of.
Right.
And so far I think it's gone really well, really awesome. You got to work for it. It doesn't just happen overnight. And like those works, the homework and the work, classwork, they're not necessarily easy and they're not necessarily hard, but you just got to work at it. Like geometry, for example, like you have to show everything, and I don't think I've had a more challenging math class, but I've so far done pretty well. So
Yeah. So do you think that you're prepared for the finals this is coming up?
Prepared as you can be. I'm gonna keep studying, keep
Yeah.
working every night. Whenever I find time, whether it's after I eat lunch or if I get finished with classwork early and they tell me what to do, I'm not there playing games or watching or doing anything. I'm there studying. I'm there preparing for these finals because I know it's really it can be make or break for some people.
You're probably prepared more better than some of our sophomores. Honestly, you're probably more prepared than me. So you're doing a great job. I see you in class. Sometimes I ask you for help, and you do a great job helping me out. Sometimes we bug on you because you're a freshman in sophomore class. But were you expecting that a little
Oh
bit?
yeah, of course. I mean, and it's not like they actually mean it or anything.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
part of everything.
Exactly. It's a love that the brotherhood. Exactly. So how is Spanish club going?
Spanish Club. So I've gone on one field trip this year to the Mexican Fine Arts Museum down in Pilsen, and then we went out for a little lunch, and like touching back on earlier, I don't think I've ever had another like experience like that at any other place, 'cause it was just like maybe 10, 12 of us, and we had a great time. It was really informative, and everything was really good. So, and in that time span, I really got to know some new people. It was like another family brotherhood like day. It just really, really, really interconnected with everything.
Mm. And do you think that the Spanish club kind of relates to the Spanish class? Does it help you a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the cultural aspect of it.
Yeah.
The other day, the food truck. Just food is part of culture.
I heard it was good. I
Yeah.
didn't have any, but I heard it was good.
And then there's like little things that just that reflects what you're learning in class. And you're like, oh yeah, I knew about that, and it's just great to show everyone else that doesn't know about that. And I think spreading that awareness and that information is a huge part, and I think Mount Carmel does that very well.
So you talked about culture in that. Do you think that Mount Carmel does a good job of the diversity that we have?
For sure.
Have you ever been in an environment that's this diverse?
Yeah, I would say St. Thomas More for sure. Here as well. And the thing about it is, you don't really think about it that much because everyone's so like together.
The same, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And so, like when someone brings it up and you start thinking about it, you're like, oh yeah, compared to other schools that you've seen, by far the diversity.
So you don't think it's a boundary between people?
Yeah, no.
That's great. So you're at 3 months in the year. You're already doing a podcast. You're already in about 7 clubs. You got some classes with sophomores. You're about to head into first finals, as I keep saying. What are you expecting for the rest of the year as a freshman? What do you expect?
I think it's going to be a lot of more, hard work and
Really?
struggle. But that's I signed myself up for this, and I knew it. And I think that's just only going to make me better person, who I am, and prepare me more for the next chapter, whatever it is. And I think within the next months with the academics, the sports, the clubs, there's gonna be moments where I just gotta like embrace it all and take it in where I am, Mount Carmel, and really appreciate it. And that's what keeps me going. And it's a privilege to be here. I get to be here. So, whenever I'm feeling I don't want to do this homework, I just think, I'm here at Mount Carmel. I get to do this homework.
I like that. That's really nice. So is that I was about to ask you, is that what wakes you up in the morning to come to Mount Carmel? Because some people, it's a long drive. It's cold outside. It's dark when they leave. It's dark when they come back home. So what wakes you up to get to Mount Carmel?
Yeah, that's a great question because it is a very long drive for me.
So how long is it for you?
So bus pickups at 6:30. Usually get here around 7:40, 7:45, so a little bit over an hour.
Yeah. Where do you live? What neighborhood?
Munster, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to wake up at like 5:30, 5:15, and get ready and do all these things, what drives me the most is like seeing that logo on the shirt, seeing everything, packing my stuff, and knowing where I'm going next is going to be a great time and a great day, and whatever comes from it. And so, yeah.
Have you got any comments about you going to Mount Carmel, like positive? They see the MC. They probably see you come off the bus or something. Have you got any comments?
Yeah. I think the biggest comment I got is like, great school.
Yeah.
It's a long drive, but it's worth it, and that's like every time I hear that, it reminds me again like I'm really special to be here because there's some other kids that I'm sure wish to be here, aspire to be here, and they may not be here, but maybe in the future they will. But knowing that I'm here right now, I'm gonna take every chance and advantage of it.
So you said that there's some kids that wish they could be here, or some that just can't be here, right?
Yeah.
You coming from elementary school, did you have some friends come to Mount Carmel, or did you have most of your friends go to other schools?
Most of my friends went to other schools. It was just me and Hunter that went here, another freshman. But for those other kids, when they asked me where I'm going, I said Mount Carmel. They're like, "Where's that?"
Right.
Or they only knew about the football team. And so I think the exposure at my school about Mount Carmel wasn't. It's an hour and a little bit over an hour away. They're obviously not going to know.
Exactly.
And a lot of them, they're headed on to an Indiana school or a Catholic school or a public school there, or private. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so, like, when they're looking at all those options, they think hour drive for school. No way.
Right.
But I think if more people came here and looked at Mount Carmel, they would definitely be like, man, the hour drive's gonna be worth it.
Yeah. So what do you think is the most challenging part of coming to Mount Carmel?
Most challenging part?
Yeah, it could be your classes, the drive,
Those are all factors that are hard, but I don't think that's the hardest because, in that time you can reflect, you can do things, you're on yourself.
And you're getting something back from
yeah,
those things.
Exactly. Right? But so I would say the hardest thing would be, like, holding myself to the Mount Carmel standard. I hear it every day during prayer, during freshman late night, that, like, the school is it's upstanding, it's held to a high standard, and we got to be held to that same standard. So living into those shoes to pass alumni and everything, it really keeps me going and, just getting me up there to that standard, which is very hard and compete for and everything. So I would say the standard that they hold us here to is like no other school, no other place. So I would say definitely the standard.
The standard, I like that. The values that Mount Carmel stands for.
Yeah.
I like it. So me and you are probably some of the most craziest people in the world. We came to an all-boys Catholic private school, south side of Chicago. It's not the most popular choice that most people go to. Everybody thinks it's the football school, and if you don't play football, they kind of look down on you a little bit. But what do you think people think of you when they say, "Oh, you come to Mount Carmel"? What do you think?
Well, a lot of my friends, they were like, man, you're driving an hour away just to go to a school and stuff, like I said earlier. But I think once they started looking into Mount Carmel and know more about it, they're like, man, this guy's doing something that no one else that I've seen could do.
Yeah.
And knowing that, uh, like how far they see me in the classroom every day back in my old school, and now they like barely see me. But when they do talk to me, they always ask me questions. How is Mount Carmel? How's that? How's that? Because I think Mount Carmel's very unique, and it's like no other school. So when they hear Mount Carmel and they know what's about it, they really just want to know more about it
Yeah.
because it's unique and it's good in its own way.
So what would you say are some benefits of attending Mount Carmel?
Benefits, I would say just about everything. It teaches you discipline, the values, the standards. It makes you the behavior, everything, your academics, sports, and, even the little things like walking around, just having a uniform on, attending class, and I think it all adds up and it makes you a better person because you get held to that standard, and you make that transition from that boy to a man to a man of Carmel that they say here. And so my goal is to be a man of Carmel, to live up to that standard like others have, and yeah.
What do you think are some advantages of attending all male school, high school?
I think there's less distractions for you, obviously.
Okay.
Teenage boys, they do teenage boys
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Uh,
So would you say is it a more pro or con? Pro or con, would you say?
I would say it's a pro because
Really?
you get that brotherhood feeling once again, and that brotherhood feeling makes friends that you're gonna have for life, and you see your guys, and you just know in the future you're gonna be there. They're gonna be there with you at your wedding or any other important event that you may have. So I would say it's definitely a pro.
How old are you?
I am 14.
So you're 14.
Yeah.
2 years, right, or 1 year of being a teenager. How do you think Mount Carmel has shaped you as a teenager so far? You think there is a shaping that has been going on?
Oh yeah. Seeing some other people, they don't have that same, the same like mindset and behavior that I have. Like I hear people say like, I have this for homework. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you come to Mount Carmel, and once again you get to do that homework, and it's a privilege. You're learning from it. It's an experience, and everything they do here for you is for a positive impact, and it's not for the negative for sure.
Do you think that you matured while
Yeah.
being at Mount Carmel?
Yeah, I think sometimes you have time for jokes, but here,
Exactly.
if you're not on top of it, then it's kind of jokes on you, So you don't have time for jokes. You don't have time for like messing around sometimes, and within that time, you find the time to do whatever you need to do, get stuff done, be on that grind.
I have a really weird question. I don't know if you're gonna answer it. Might be some bias here, but do you have a favorite class here?
Favorite class here, there's a lot of great classes.
Really?
A lot of unique classes that like I don't think I've like ever seen a class ran like that almost. I would say for learning and for like difficulties, I would say geometry. I think Mrs. Sorescu, shout out to her.
Ooh, Lord.
She gives us work. It's hard sometimes, but
Mhm.
it teach me something. It teach me if I can get this done, then I can get any other math class done
I like
because
it.
she's preparing us at the end of the
Exactly.
day. I would say as well as Mr. Haggerty's class, English, tennis ball. I've never had a class like that. Everyone
Right,
taking
yeah.
turns. It's very open discussion, and you're doing work. And once again, you really have no time for messing around, and it's always like eyes and ears ready, and you're learning really valuable things from him, and it's very impactful for everyone. I feel like, and I would say, sorry, just a lot of I don't really have favorite
Yeah.
class, but I have pros and cons for every class, mostly pros. But I would just want to touch on two more classes.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Norisha's chemistry class, man, that is class that I feel the most family in. Mrs. Norris is a great teacher. More than anything, she's a great role model to everyone. She's always looking out for you. She'll take a break from class if you're having a hard time or
Yeah.
anything. And more than learning and everything, you want to learn those life lessons and know that you have someone there always for you at Mount Carmel.
Mhm.
And my last class is would be Mr. Godinez's Spanish class. Uh, I don't think I've had a more informational class, both material wise and just those life lessons. I've heard some great words of wisdom from him, and I write them down and I think about it, and I'm like, wow, I would have never thought about it, but here I am in his class learning about that. So yeah, there's definitely some great classes here.
Do you think that the classroom setting is preparing you for life uh, skills?
Yeah, I would say for sure. Public schools, there's like 40 kids. It's ruckus. It's crazy everywhere. But here at Mount Carmel, it's like 18 kids, 20 kids, you know, way less, and everyone's disciplined. Everyone's ready there, has a pencil in their hand. They're ready to work. And so I would say, being in that environment where everyone else just wants the same ambitions as you and learning and doing everything. And apart from that, doing stuff outside of school and being involved, it's definitely a feeling that, you know, you're in your own league. You know where you are. And so, yeah.
So yeah, Serge, that's great. I feel like you have a really good standing on Mount Carmel. Um, Again, I keep saying this. You've only been here for 3 months,
Yeah.
and you're doing a great job at it. Congratulations to you. I wish you well.
Yeah, thank
But what are you doing that is not at Mount Carmel? Like, what is you have some hobbies? It have to be educational.
you. Yeah.
And I study.
Uh,
It could be video games, playing the phone. What hobbies? Any hobbies?
Catching up with friends.
Really?
Like I said earlier, it's a long drive, so I don't see my old friends just as much. But I always try keeping in touch with them, whether it's through a phone call here and there or a quick text. I would say just catching up with everyone, making sure everyone's fine. Um, Talking to family. Whenever you're feeling down, I always know I have a great support system behind me, ready. And some other hobbies, fishing. Fishing always calms
Really?
me down. Yeah, getting
It
out
calms
there.
you down.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're out there with nature. You're not thinking about your next test, your next final, and it's a great relaxer. I feel like, and I would say playing soccer as always,
Hmm.
getting out there with the ball. So yeah,
Is there anything that you would change about Mount Carmel?
I think I would change. Wow, that's a difficult question.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody always gets it. Yeah.
Oh man, I would say. Oh, sorry, I'm blanking
You're
here.
good. You're good. You can say no. It's fine to say no.
I want to say no. I think I'm gonna say no, but I don't want to sound like Mount Carmel's this perfect place. Everyone
Right.
has to go here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying being here for these 3 months, there hasn't been one thing that I think is astronomically bad, and they gotta change it. And even though I don't like, for example, I don't like certain things, but I know it's gonna help me in the future. I know it's very beneficial, so I wouldn't change that. And one of those things would be maybe like a weekly test. Like, no one likes tests, but
Right.
you're gonna have to have tests in college or wherever you go, future jobs. So having those tests here, it's only gonna make you better. So I would never change that. And so yeah, I don't think there's anything I would change.
Very very interesting. I like that. I don't think there's anything I would change either. That's
Yeah.
great. So let's talk about your personal life a little bit, right? We're not gonna talk about your girlfriend. But do you have a girlfriend? No, you're single. Don't
No
worry.
comment.
No comment. No questions asked. Let's talk about family. How's family going?
Family. Weekends I spend a lot of time with my family.
Nice.
Some nights like 3 days a week I get home past 7, and I don't really have time to
Right.
talk with my mom, have a genuine conversation, because I get home, I shower, I do homework, I do whatever I need to do. But on those days where I get home a little bit earlier or over the weekend, I really try setting aside time. Not everything has to be about Mount Carmel. You also have a different life, which is your family, and those people do so much for you. You got to also make sure you do stuff for them, and also just be there to talk to them. And so over the weekends, whether it's FaceTiming my sister who's in college or texting whoever, and just making sure everyone's good, everyone's fine, and going out to eat with your grandparents for breakfast or simple stuff like that. You can't take those for granted. You gotta savor those moments.
Yeah. Do you have any other siblings except your sister?
No, just my
You-
sister.
Okay. So you're the only child in the house.
Yeah, currently, yeah.
Do you have any pets?
Yeah, one dog.
One dog. What's his name?
Patch.
Patch.
Yeah.
What, you know what dog he is?
Havanese.
Who?
Havanese.
Hyvanese. I ain't
he's
heard
like-
that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he's like a little 10-pound dog.
Is,
You
is
know,
he a good dog?
yeah, I would say so. You know, it's like a love-hate relationship. Some
Yeah.
days he just wants to tear my head off, and other days he's there and he can't leave me. He's up by my side. So
Yeah, you got that dog in him.
yeah.
So, what does a person gain from Mount Carmel? Would you say? What does a person gain?
Well, at every school, you gain academics, you gain new sports, new friends, new everything. But at Mount Carmel, I would say the one thing that sets it aside that you gain at no other school would be that support system, true connection of brotherhood here. Even with the teachers, and you make so many connections, so many new friends. That's something that you can't replace.
Right.
And one more thing I would say is the lessons. Like I said earlier, like I don't think I've gotten so many words of advice and tricks and tips and whatever it is in another 3 month span. So definitely the lessons you learn here and the friends you gather and the brotherhood and all that.
Serge, you did a phenomenal job. You did a
Thank
great
you.
job.
Thank you.
I keep saying this, but you're only a freshman, which is very hard to see. We're gonna wrap it up here, but I do have one more question for you. I actually have two questions for you.
Gotcha.
You said you watched it, so I don't know if you have heard this question. You've heard this question in chemistry class.
What sandwich would I
What
be?
is, if you were a sandwich, what sandwich would you be?
I was preparing for this question
Really?
actually, and
What sandwich?
man, I'm trying to think here. Can't. Hold.
I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like a psychological.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're a hot dog, you're a crazy. I don't know. Mr. Baffle said he's a hot dog. I'll never forget that answer.
You can't be a good like just meat sandwich with salami, ham, cheese, lettuce, pepperoni, whatever it is. You can't be one of those sandwiches. I mean, you get protein from the meat, you get cheese, you get all the flavors mixing together. So I would say like one of those. What do they call them? Like Italian sandwiches. Yeah.
Like salami. Yeah.
Yeah. One of those sandwiches.
I mean, Snarice is gonna kill me because I asked that question. That's all they asked.
Oh, for the shadows.
Yeah,
So,
for the shadows. I feel bad for the shadows, man.
yeah. I'm glad I didn't get that question.
Did you? You
No,
didn't.
I
All
did
right.
not.
All right. So, that's the end of the podcast. Is there anything that you would like to say to the Caravan Nation?
No, I think I'm all my words out there. But
Well, thank you, Serge. It was a pleasure to have you.
Yep.
I wish you the best of luck. The
Thank
rest of
you.
your experience at Mount Carmel. Hope you
thank you.
are learning stuff, like you said.
Yep.
Yeah. Serge, thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right. My name is Aaron Hyler with Sergio Valdez, and this is the last episode of Season 2 of the BOD. Have a great night. Thank you.